In this episode, I'm facing a growing challenge, a massive cyclone that's building between Papua New Guinea and the Solomons, forcing me to rethink my strategies. Still, it's a beautiful sail in pretty calm seas. Join me as I'm sailing around the world on Be Free, a Bavaria 55 cruiser. In the previous episode, I left Fiji and started on my 3,000 nautical mile sail towards Indonesia. Some say it's impossible this time of year, some even say it's insane. I say it's possible with the right yacht, the right technology, combined with knowledge and a well-planned strategy, as I shared in the previous episode. Still, this is nothing I recommend. Now, off to Indonesia, maybe. I hope. And it did not take long into this journey before I discovered some high Cape Index north of the Solomons. Thunderstorms are basically the spark plugs needed for a cyclone. Something I was paying close attention to, as all the needed ingredients for mixing together a cyclone is almost there. Still, it is a bit early to be sure, but something is brewing. Worth mentioning is that no insurance companies covers your back sailing in a cyclone zone during cyclone season, nor for any named storms or even lightning strike. As I even experienced running from the cyclone Julia hitting San Andreas not that long ago. For me, sitting and be waiting for a cyclone was no option, and running was the only rational thing to do back then, unless I wanted to see my floating home being destroyed and sink. The second alternative is to be out sailing like I do, as I would have to run anyway, being in an island that's in the cyclone zone. So, end of the day, the difference is not that big in terms of insurance. The challenge started in French Polynesia, destroying all my plans as the rules has changed. How long can we stay?
3 months.
3 months? Only
2 years.
With the boat?
2 years, I think.
You must have a visa for after 3 months.
I'm no stranger to cyclones. In fact, I have experienced a number of different cyclones, sailing through them and even running, as I just said. Also had experience of riding out a few at anchor, and I can tell you, it's no fun. This is why it's better to sail to a safe zone like Australia, but you need to go really far south. Australia is, in my opinion, a hotspot, taking the hit from almost every single cyclone in the South Pacific. Meaning I would be in a very expensive region I at the moment cannot afford. Ironically, this is due to my insurance backing out of me after my rescue mission south of San Andreas, running from Cyclone Julia. My cruising budget was killed by the costs after the lightning strike, but at least the sailors I tried to help was safe. A very expensive lesson learned. Luckily they are okay. We had a lightning strike in the water between us, and that was pretty close. This is the reality and the honest reason for why running west is my mission, hopefully to safety in a cheaper region. So I'm pointing towards the northern part of Vanuatu, and not so far away from the Solomons. It's for a reason, because it's cyclone season. I'm now at 14 degrees south, which means I'm only 4 degrees away from 10 degrees south, which is the magical numbers. And if there should come a cyclone or develop a depression, 4 degrees is not that far for me. That's basically 240 nautical miles, so it's doable in 1 or 2 days. and this wind is very slow, but it's always a chance to run north, and that's the only rational thing to do when you are in the southern hemisphere. And that's one of the reasons why I also carry a lot of diesel, because the front systems in depressions or in a cyclone is all the wind disappear and you get a lot of rain. That's how it's been looking like the last 2 days. The only chance to escape is then run your engine. With updated weather prognosis, it looks like I have to rethink this strategy, as I either have to slow down and point straight north or stop in Vanuatu. It's for sure gonna be a new cyclone that I have to dodge, and once again my early prediction looks like it's gonna be bullseye. This is one of the things, it's very hard to plan, and you have to be flexible because the weather is the dictator when you're sailing. Yeah, I made a decision to change my plan. As I said, I was planning on going more north, between the north ends of Vanuatu Islands and the south point of Solomons, because that would be a shortcut into the Bay of Papua New Guinea and then reach the entrance that will take me through the Great Barrier Reef and the Torres Strait. However, the high Cape index numbers, which in normal language means thunderstorms, is not something I wanted to sail through, and numbers were up to 1000 kilojoule, which means massive thunderstorms, and I don't like that. So it was a very easy decision to point more south, and then I discovered a new weather system, a low pressure system, and I also discovered a potential cyclone to be developed. And now I have the blueprint. It looks like it's gonna be a cyclone, and luckily it also looks like it will point more west and south. So this time it will spare Vanuatu, which means I'm pointing towards Port Vila, one of the southern islands in the Vanuatu group, and it's for the reason it's a point of entrance island. So I can do my check-in there, because I estimate at least 4 or 5 days, maybe more, stay there. Because what happens when it's such a big weather system, it just drains the energy out of a huge region. And in this case, I think we can look at later in a few days. I would not be surprised if the wind will disappear for at least 1000 miles in a radius. At this early stage, I'm looking at my options, as nothing is 100% clear, and I do have several alternatives. One alternative is to slow down to see how it develops and sail north of it and take advantage of the wind. Another alternative is to point straight west to outrun it. I do like to have the margins on my side, and this model was theoretical possible, but too small margins. If all models and calculations are correct, I would pass the path in time and have a fairly good wind sailing fast at close reach, meaning even getting further away once I pass the critical point. But this is a no-brainer. I will continue towards Vanuatu and see how things develops, and most likely gonna make a stopover and wait it out there. And also it's a challenge, the wind direction will change for a short period due to the fact that the cyclone is dragging all the energy towards itself. So that means also not much wind, but it also means headwind. So yeah, I think it's best to just change the plan and make a stop in Vanuatu, which for me is a bonus. I was not planning on stopping in Vanuatu, and now I have the perfect excuse to do a stop there and explore and see what Vanuatu can offer. Sailing the Pacific Ocean big distance during a cyclone season is normally not a very good idea. But with modern technology on board, it's possible to at least have some margins and also look at weather forecast and study a lot of things that you normally could not have done before Starlink. So I really embrace modern technology. There's a lot of like this, what do you call it, like not old school sailors, but I think more wannabe sailors. That's like, oh, I'm so hardcore, my ego is so big and I don't need technology, I just look outside and a sextant and celestial navigation is what I need. Well, it's good to have those skills for sure, but it's so bullshit. I mean, when you're sailing, any tool, all the equipment you can afford is good. It's for your safety. And for me, I utilize the value of having Starlink to the max. It enables me to look at detailed weather forecast in a much bigger picture than I could done before. It's like when I had the Iridium Go, it was a very narrow image you get of the picture. Now I can get the full view and I can look far ahead and also make a decision that's 10 to 14 days ahead of me. And that's what I do now. I look at weather systems and potential developing cyclones that's 10 days ahead. So it's far away in front of me, not only in number of days but also in distance. And this makes it possible for me to play chess with the Viking gods. I can plan my next move.
It's not always you can trust the predictions, and sometimes a warning or a formation is revealed late. This is why it's not enough to only have these tools available. You need to know what to look for and also where to focus. There is often I see that colliding weathers will potentially create the spin needed. The layers of air and also Cape Index is different images. Combining all this information and layers is how I do it, knowing the 6 ingredients needed. Right now I'm sailing so fast I can see on my simulations that I have increased the safety margins for the run west alternative. But things can change fast and there is still too many variables in the development of the Cyclone. So I will stay with my decision, pointing towards Port Vila, Vanuatu. That's still 2 days away.
I'm so excited about having a stop in Vanuatu, and I think it's gonna be just awesome. I was not planning on stopping there, but this cyclone is once again delaying me. So yeah, like I said in earlier videos, I'm playing chess with the Viking gods again. And now I feel pretty confident in my decision. What else is there to do then than just enjoy this amazing weather? The weather system, that's the cyclone, it hasn't got any name yet because it's so early. I actually had it on my radar 4 days before it was predicted, and still it has not got any official name. But you can see it's massive, and it takes all the energy out of the wind from almost 1,000 nautical miles or even more. You can see all the way to the Torres Strait, which is close to 2,000 nautical miles from here. It's just not even taking all the wind away, but it even changed the wind direction. So this is massive. So this means I would have to wait to see what's next, and also what wind will be and which direction. This will kind of point me in the direction for my next jump. And the Torres Strait is pretty interesting. And it's, I wouldn't say complicated navigation, but it is a little bit challenging, and you have to make sure the tidal waters and stuff, almost like entering into the atolls. So I'm gonna explain you more later. The Solomons, Vanuatu, Fiji, Tonga and even Tuvalu are all cooperating and copying papers and bureaucracy from each other, making the life hard for any sailor wanting to visit their nations and kingdoms. So also here it's required to announce your intended stop online minimum 24 hours in advance, with tons of papers and formulas like it was a cruise ship. From my point of view, this is such a waste of time and money, and I have heard that Vanuatu is among the worst in this chain and a good warm-up for Asia. Making a stop in Port Vila, Vanuatu proves to be a very good decision. It will delay me with more than a week, but it will be on a safe distance. Also, as you can see now, as we have the predictions available, this is Jasper, and it's gonna grow big, blocking my passage. This would not be nice to have chasing me towards the Torres Strait, so it was also a good decision to disqualify the Go West alternative. It's a difficult balance to share these videos, because I do not want to inspire to do this kind of passages. At the same time, I want to show it's possible, even with pretty good safety margins. Still, I do not recommend this. And the next 2,500 nautical miles are for sure gonna be even more challenging, as every day of delay makes this region more active. But first, I'm gonna enjoy Vanuatu. So make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell not to miss this adventure. Thank you so much for watching and all your support. A special thanks to all my patrons that makes it possible for me to upload these videos. Much love from me on Be Free.